Welcome back to Kobe and Cap on This or That. How you like that switcheroo?
Oh, you turned it around on us. He's getting ready because this is my first episode of international competition.
Welcome.
Milestones, baby.
I do apologize, I'm a bit sniffly today, but the show must go on. We've got 8 shiny new slides for you.
Kobe's here. He's enduring for the sake of the show. Let's do it. Number 1.
Group favorite, is it? Ooh, this is a good one. 1907 Fenerbahçe or Fangwu Buffalo. These were the 2 hottest teams coming into play-ins, for the play-in stage of MSI. And typically, Vietnam has gotten the better of Turkey in the past.
Vietnam has gotten the better of Turkey in the past, but Vietnam also, there's 2 kinds of teams from Vietnam. There's Gigabyte Marines, and there's all of the other ones. Gigabyte Marines will always hold that special place in my heart for the crazy plays that they let us see, and ever since then, I've just been unable to fill that same void, Kobe, watching other representatives from the region instead. 1907 Fenerbahçe, Turkey's also always been one of those teams that's at the top of the emerging regions, so I think I'm gonna give a little bit of an edge here over to the side of the guys that have the name that Reddit loves to spam so much.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I really like Kire, MVP jungler for them. He's shot calling for them. He's doing so much. Holds rank 1 on EUS over and over. Seems like he can get all his accounts up there effortlessly.
Not even hard.
But I don't know. The Vietnam always seems to have that extra little bit of kick, little bit of quicker speed to take down Turkey. I'm gonna give a slight edge to the Fangwu Buffalo.
And don't forget, if you're one of our EU fans, thank Mr. Buffalo. Worlds. Don't forget about it.
That's true. Next slide. MSI top lane meta. Is it gonna be tanks or is it gonna be carries? I personally think that it is gonna be a mix. There are some better options of tanks, but I think it's been super overblown by a lot of people that the tank takeover has happened in the last 2 patches. I just don't see it happening. I still think there are plenty of very strong carries that people are going to use. And with the caliber of top laners at this tournament, I'm pretty sure that's what they want to play.
That's what I was thinking here at the start. We're not going into this tournament as a thing where it's like, oh, okay, top lane's just gonna be a bunch of role players, put them on a meatball, have them stand on the front line and get shot by some skill shots so the carries don't have to. No, we've got some serious guys up there in that top side. I honestly do like watching carries more than I like watching tanks too. So from strictly an entertainment perspective, I hope it's that. But yeah, these guys, we'll probably see a few of them.
I do think they got some meaningful buffs, so we will see some, but Fiora also got buffed, Trundle also got buffed. There are counters to tanks as well. Next slide. Group B Dark Horse. Is it gonna be Detonation Focus Me or Mega Esports? I think Detonation Focus Me.
I have to agree with that because I was very critical of the LJL going into Worlds because they had previous very poor international performances. So I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know if these guys got what it takes to really step up and compete. But they did a lot better than I expected that they would. And I really want to see what they're capable of doing here this time because it seems like they only continue to get better and better. So, plus I know that there is there's always a bunch of hype of people for the Japanese region. Like people always want to see them do really well in a Twitch chat because people like to spam all their emotes and just be like, oh yeah, we want to see them win. And everybody wants these teams to pop off. Like everybody wants another one of the stories like Gigabyte Marines, right? And I think these guys might have what it takes.
All right, I am also going with Detonation Focus Me. Slide number 4, let's go.
Numero cuatro.
More likely not to make group stage. Is it Team Liquid or Flash Wolves? Team Liquid, I think, is the stronger team. Flash Wolves lost their big carries, Maple, Karsa, all the big names, Sword Art even. However, Team Liquid first play the team from Group A, which is the stacked group, but they have to lose 2 times to be kicked out and not make it. So I don't think that matters that much, and I just think that Flash Wolves got a lot weaker, losing a lot of their star players. So I think that this one is Flash Wolves.
LMS was historically regarded as a one-team region, very top-heavy, where you had the one side, the one team that really just stood out above everybody else, and the rest were sort of, they were hanging out, they were there, but when you have a one-team region and that one team gets gutted, you give a thinking emoji to how many teams you got left in that region, how strong that region is. I'm giving the edge to Team Liquid.
All right, next slide, number 5. Better Kayn. Is it Ross or is it Shadow Assassin?
Baby.
Now, there was a huge buff to Shadow Assassin where they lowered the cooldown to 8 seconds of his E. Once you transform into Shadow Assassin, I thought that was crazy, made a tweet about it, and it popped off. I think that was definitely a big buff to him. All that being said, Rost is still so good.
Yeah.
Better for team fighting. The healing is insane, more tanky. The knockup brings so much. So honestly,
You still going with Rost?
if we're talking about competitive, I'm still going with Rost.
Well, I'm gonna make the Chad play and vote for solo queue.
Get some
I'm
solo
voting
queue in here.
for this guy, because this is your 1v9 champion. This is mute my team, farm my raptors, gank some lanes, and just start one-shotting people. For those of you who are looking for the solo queue edge on your Kayn, remember, the easiest way to win League of Legends is have a numbers advantage. The easiest way to have a numbers advantage is make a dude rage quit because you one-shot him so many times. Shadow Assassin.
There you go. Get some lethality in there. Slide number 6.
All right.
More true. Is G2 overrated or is Team Liquid underrated? Now, we've already seen some analysts saying G2 is better than SKT. I think that personally
I'm gonna say
is
that's
overrated.
Yeah, that's too
but
much of
a lot of that I think is people underrating SKT. And then a lot of people are also saying Team Liquid has no chance and they're doomed, which I also think is severely underrating them. However, I would say that out of the top 4 with IG, G2, and SKT, I would put them all above Team Liquid and have them at 4th. So it really depends on where they're coming in at.
But that's their comfort zone, man. That's where they want to be. This was the Team Liquid plan all along. I do think Team Liquid, I agree with you that they are weaker than the other 3 teams based on what we've seen from those top 4 so far. I think there's a lot of improvements they could make, especially in terms of like what we saw versus TSM in the spring finals. At the same time, the talent's there, man. Doublelift, Core JJ, Xmith, like everybody's popping up on this team. I seriously think that they have the ability to step up, and it's hard for me to say that this team is overrated. I will say that I disagree with the people saying that they're better
They're
than SKT.
number 2 at the tournament.
I will say I disagree with those people, but I will also say these guys have seriously impressed me with the amount of crazy stuff they can play. I will not call them overrated. I'll say that people are, they're lowballing Team Liquid a little bit.
I think so too. All right, slide number 7. What do we got? Bigger impact, is it Singe buff or Gnar buffs? I think Singe buff. For me, I was really happy when Impact pulled that one out. However, Singe, I don't think he's gonna get played a lot. Singe is pretty good as like a counter pick into a lot of other tanks. It's not really a great blind pick. I think Gnar actually is even more blind pickable.
Yeah.
So that might be bigger for Team Liquid since I don't think they want to save a counter pick for Impact. Maybe this is a safer one.
Right, I think that draft point is actually really big. Impact isn't the guy that you're going to be putting your 5th pick on for the side of Team Liquid. So having that Sin strategy where you have to make sure he can run around. Okay, all right, Mr. Big Brain over here thinking maybe Team Liquid's gonna throw some curveballs, but the Gnar is something that I think could really pop off for this team. Like we were talking about earlier, we might see carries, we might see tanks, we might see this little prehistoric dude that can be both of them at the
There
same
you
time.
go.
So I'm gonna vote for that one in hopes that we get to see Impact pop off.
All right, me too. Our final slide. Better
All right.
for casting.
Oh yeah, we never have to say this again. That's right. Okay, this one's tough because I love my international friends, but this is a whole lot of words to have to say every time you address the team.
Honestly, I thought it was pretty funny. So I didn't even think that was bad. So I will say international reunion. That's the best part.
I actually, this is one of my favorite parts about doing international events is getting to see people that we only get to see a couple of times a year.
Yeah.
So despite the fact that my tongue will now be significantly less twisted as we have to say 1907 Fenerbahçe without the 1907 there anymore, I'm gonna vote for my buddies. Can't wait to see them again coming up here as MSI kicks off in a week.
Can't wait to see you too. Please join us on Wednesday. The play-in start 3 a.m. Pacific time.
That's Tuesday night.
Hope you're up.
For everybody. You better be up. We're gonna be expecting you. See you then.